I'm RT and welcome back to RTsWorld. So today I present you the version 2, or basically a different version of the horse gambling game or the horse racing game. A very popular video on my channel, and if you didn't see the original video, make sure to click the info card section on the right or in the comment section or in the video description. There will be links everywhere that link to the original version 1 video. Make sure to check that out, and also state in the comments if you like this version better or the previous one. I'm honestly not that sure, but I will describe all the drawbacks, all the advantages of both versions in this video. So, first of all, many thanks to Tristan, who is now an active Patreon supporter. And yeah, he basically wrote, "Hey, it's Tristan, I just subscribed finally. Got a cool suggestion you'll be annoyed with when trying to build it. How about a horse gambling game, like the one you did, the digital one, but with real animals or mobs in minecarts, so would be larger in size on the front and in the back, so redstone, haha. I love that game so much, but there has to be one with real mobs on your channel. It's a summon of horse gambling. The last level would be to make an actual course like in real life, but that's for later. And if you want to become a Patreon member as well for this channel, make sure there's a link in the video description or you can check out my Patreon. So, but now let's dive into the video. This time I will show you how this casino works compared to the original one. The original one is here on the left, and you may remember that, where you just put in here, for example, a gold and diamond block in the gold slot. Ah, so close. Now the iron horse one, not the gold one, but you get the idea. So we have these digital bars that can fill from signal strength 1 up to 10, and if we reach 10 for the horse that we bet on, we will win 2 diamond blocks back. So we can double our initial payment with this casino. Same is true for that one. So this version is a lot bigger, as you can see here. It's also a lot more redstone going on in the background. So ignore that and that piece. So that's just a very compact one. That is not very compact. It's a little bit huge. There's also a lot of sand piled up to like build limit or so. So it's definitely not that easy to build in survival Minecraft, but let's go into the video or into the circuit anyway. And honestly, this was a pain to build and a pain to figure out. Horses always suffocate if they are not pushed against glass blocks, so there has to be glass everywhere. So yeah, basically everywhere glass, everywhere hay bales, so they don't get some fall damage or stuff like that. But I couldn't prevent it entirely in this version. They get half a heart damage by dropping down this hole sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Yeah, so I really tried to make a nice version. And I also tried different methods, for example, just doing it with rails, but with rails there's one problem. If, for example, a minecart is stuck right here, and then you want to power it again, it does not move. So you have to basically push then another minecart to get, to get the first one moving as well. And that's a little bit tricky. But maybe I figured out some way, but this is for a later video. This time I want to show you all the circuits involved in this casino. So we have here, first of all, the item filters, where we have then secretly named items on the right, and 1 diamond block, which is our currency, on the left. That looks like this. All our profits are stored in those barrels beneath, like so. And here's our winning dropper. There are all the prices. In this case, it's also diamond blocks. And we have, of course, corresponding to those inputs, we have the 3 lines, iron, gold, and diamond. And sand is necessary to push the horses here stacked in those minecarts in the horse tower. I know that's not responsible animal care, but yeah, let's pretend they're just Minecraft horses and yeah, just leave them alone. So the first part that happens here, if we insert any item, we have here a stone sword that gets moved from the left to the right dropper here. And by doing so, it powers those comparators, following by these repeaters, and then this line here together. And then we also get a nice sound. And by doing that, we remove the stone sword from this hopper and put it into that one over there. Therefore, the comparator powering the torch and closing everything off. So that's why if we insert here a diamond block, for example, and bet on a diamond line, we can see these circuits here closed. Then we can see all the 3 horses transported to the top. That's from the horse tower, so they all land softly on their hay bale. And then let's go in there. Yeah, you can also see that the sand is getting used up here. and then sand pushes them along, like so. Let's see if the diamond one is first. We bet on the diamond one this time. Come on, one more block. One more block, then we can win. Nice. Yeah, now it suffered a little bit of damage. That happens from time to time, but yeah, there's nothing you can really do against it. And we also got our payment, which is 2 diamond blocks, of course, since we won this time. We bet on diamond and we got the diamonds. Now the sand is already removed to the floor. And now let's get into explaining part again. We additionally, when we move the stone sword from the right to the left dropper here, power this comparator. Therefore, powering all this white circuit here with a very long delay, but I will come to that later. But first of all, this red circuit is responsible for getting 3 exactly timed redstone pulses, and the circuit here in the ground is responsible for switching the rails here, just to switch them from left to right, so we can select one of those 3 slots, and they're perfectly timed and aligned. So the first horse gets transported to the first slot, the second one, then this one gets switched over, will get to the second slot, and then this one will be switched over, and the third horse will get to the third slot. And then they will all meet up at the top, and each horse gets their corresponding slot. So then we also have here this very long timer, and this timer is responsible for starting our clock here in the background. So that's our clock, that's the heart of the casino. We generate here a clock with, what is it? That's 5 with 10, 11 ticks of delay in total. And if we continue from the clock here to the right, we have here this piston that is extended, and every like 11 ticks we get a 3-tick length that will be transported over, let's go, to this green circuit here. And the green circuit is responsible for getting either the stone sword, or which is the non-stackable item, or a stackable item, which in my case is just a spruce button, into this hopper here. And depending on which item gets transferred, we have either signal strength 1 or signal strength 3. And if we end up with signal strength 3, we can get this piston to fire once. We have a 2-tick pulse that gets into this signal processing unit, which just adds up all the signals that gets in here, and the maximum is of course 15. So if we press this circuit once or activate it once, we have here signal strength 1 on this block. If we do it twice, we have here signal strength 2, and so on. And we have here in this hopper, we have signal strength 9 exactly. So this comparator reads signal strength 9. We have this one in subtraction mode. So if we get to signal strength 10 on this side, we have 9 there. We have signal strength 1 in total, so 10 minus 9. And then we will activate the brown line, and the brown line, basically just ignore all the stuff here. The brown line is responsible for closing the end gate. So if we select, for example, diamond, we can see that this torch will be on, so this torch would be off. And if diamond would be the winning line, we can depower that line, depower the torch, so both of those torches would then be depowered, closing the end gate, powering this torch, and here are all the 3 end gates combined, which leads us to our winning dropper. We have an observer, that's why we have 2 diamond blocks dispensed if we get any end gate closed here on the top. And yeah, what we have here in addition are some safety mechanisms. I don't want to get into them very detailed, since they're just, yeah, safety mechanisms. So that one is just, if each horse reaches the finish line, we reset the casino, so each of those horses has to get to the front. And the reason for that is, unfortunately, that I cannot get there some rail without killing the horse like every second round or so. That's why I just moved them here directly to the top, to the end of the line, and just collect them all with this line here. And of course this line leads all the way up again into our horse stacking tower right here. And what we have here in the bottom as well are some piston extenders. So how can I show it to you? If I, for example, remove that torch here, oh, there's some horse. That's maybe from testing. I didn't put it there, so now we have to watch it die. But basically, we remove it, and if there's any sand on this level, it will get destroyed. oh my gosh, that sound, it will get destroyed and land on those hoppers. And if the circuit activates then again, let's simulate it by putting the redstone torch back, the hoppers will get depowered and we can find the leather and the sand here in the large chest. That's where all the sand gets collected, so at one point you have to rebuild those towers. Of course, that's very annoying, but that's how this version works. And yeah, what I forgot to say before with this signal processing unit, each time we get a signal in here, we also activate the pink circuit, and the pink circuit just pushes one sand into the casino, therefore pushing the horse one block further to the finish line. And the last circuit in this build is the magenta one, which resets everything. And the reset is of course triggered if every single horse crosses the finish line. And this black circuit is just a safety mechanism, so if the first horse just gets into its corresponding hole here in the finish line, it will trigger only once, then it will retract those brown blocks. And if the other two horses finish, they do not dispense a prize, because if I didn't put the black circuit in, you can just like bet on iron. The iron horse finishes, for example, second, so the gold horse finishes first. But at some point the iron horse will finish, because that's how the casino is designed, and then we would close the end gate here anyway. And so that's, yeah, that makes this kind of casino redundant, since any horse will win every time. And that's why we have to put in this black circuit here in place. So if I trigger this line, there will be only a very short pulse that gets through, and then everything will be retracted. So no, if then the, for example, gold horse comes in, the signal can't go anywhere now. And yeah, that's why the black safety circuit is in there. And this safety circuit is also reset very simply by the magenta reset circuit, and then all the pistons are extended again. So with that said, that was the explanatory part. So we have every circuit explained, except for example, you had to forget to cover the lamps here. If we select something, for example gold, we have here also an indicator lamp that shows us that we selected gold. And now I want to show you the end gate magic. So let's wait for the casino to finish and see which end gate will be closed. You saw it very quickly. This torch was off for exactly 2 ticks, therefore closing the end gate, fortunately. Powering this torch, powering the line, and that's why we also have 2 diamond blocks right here, since there is an observer detecting state of this repeater, so it gets on and then off. That's why it triggers 2 times the dropper, and we get 2 diamonds. So, and then we remove the sand, and it will get now transported via all the hoppers into this large chest here. Nice. So with that said, the explanatory part is now completely done, and I want to emphasize now the advantages and drawbacks of this machine here. Advantage, of course, is you have a very nice display here on the front where we have actual horses getting pushed from the start line in red to the finish line right here. We do not have that in this version right here, but what we have here is, in my opinion, a much better presentation and a much better user experience. So I prefer the look of the digital one, since it's, yeah, it shows basically the same. We have the horse race just with bars, so it's just a digital horse race. And this one translates the digital signal from the redstone behind in an analog way that we can display the horse traveling forward towards the finish line. But yeah, it really depends on what you want to build on your server or single player world, so it really is up to you which version you want to do. For reproducibility, if you don't want to restock the horses like each week or so, maybe it would be good to put your dispenser with what is it called, with the detector rail, and just push some potion of healings to the horses, so they get healed like every now and then, so they don't die over time. If they die, it doesn't really matter, since you have still the mine carts. So the casino is not disabled if the horses die, so only the minecart will get then pushed, and you have to replace the horses at some point. But that's also very important. If all the horses die for some reason, your casino will still be functional. Those are just aesthetics, so the horses are just the aesthetic part here, and we do not have any basically higher meaning for them except being a horse that gets pushed in the minecart. And that's also why I plan now to do a different video, and that's why I also chose to not do a block by block tutorial on this build here, since it is not that perfect. I really like it. I really enjoy the looks of it, and it's also nice to watch. It's also compact, kind of, for that what it can do. But there will be a very, very nice actual horse racing arena video next week, where we will build together, and also with a block by block tutorial then. I'm still in the making of this video. But it will be very nice, and it will be very fancy. So it won't be that compact, just to say that at first. It won't be that compact compared to this version here. That will be the most compact version you could build. That's a digital one, you don't have horses, very simplistic. And this one here is, yeah, bigger, you have more to see, more to watch, but it's also much more effort to build it. And the third version, or the V3 version, will be based on this system here, which I can show you very briefly just for a slight teasing for next week. So that will be basically a randomized power rail here. So we have here a minecart, and after a random amount of time it will go off again. So again, random amount of time. It's not the same each time, so it's much longer this time. Yeah, now it goes off. And we can adjust the length here, or the randomness of the length here. So that's what I want to build next video, or I want to show you next week. I just built an arena that is like really huge, and where the minecarts go, you can add as many rails as you want. You could have like 10 horses racing at once, and I will do that for the next video, which will be very epic. So stay tuned for that one. But I also wanted to present this one, since it was like 3-4 hours of planning and building, and then just 1 hour of perfecting some stuff, and another 2 hours of finding some errors. So it was like really long amount of time to build it, and I'm kind of satisfied with the outcome, but I'm not completely satisfied, and that's why I want to build the version 3, the one that Tristan also suggested in his comment. So stay tuned for that one. But also make sure to write a comment if you like this version, which version you like more, what are the advantages, disadvantages in your opinion, or in your view. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.